Hello, beloveds. I am Reverend Amani Malaika. I am here with beloved Raymont, Dr. Reverend Raymont Anderson. And if you have been with us before, you may know that Ray has been covering for me while I have been away on sabbatical, and I am now returning. So we get to spend this time together for our April theme. If you are new to us, welcome. This is a little bit of a different format than I typically do for sermon content and messages, and I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for watching. So, my gentle giant, Reverend Raymont.
Yes.
This is I just have a giant gratitude.
Thank you.
It has been what a wondrous thing to have you kind of step into the fold and allow me to just rest with ease and no worries, knowing you were holding down.
Amen. Yes. My pleasure. I am honored. Thank you. Yeah, I'm honored and filled with gratitude to know that I was able to give you the space to take care of yourself. So thank
Amen.
you.
And amen. A little bit of what we're going to be talking about this month in April. So let's talk a little bit about our April theme, which is giant gentleness. And I wanted to share a little quote that came from the minister who prepared this, which is, in those flashes, when we are conscious of our oneness, there is an openness and all-encompassing love. In all the other moments in our lives, we need and really deserve giant gentleness. So that's what we're going to be diving into during this April series, during the next 4 weeks. And I am really excited because I like the way that we're going to have an opportunity to talk about what it means to be gentle with ourselves, to bring that gentleness to others, to our communities, and to the world, and anchoring all that in the reality of sort of this cosmic oneness that you and I belong to, and that it is giant, right? That this giant gentleness, this force of love, the divine, the beloved, the holy, blessed one, whatever we want to call it, is greater than the epic amounts of despair and violence and pain and suffering that we are personally experienced, that I personally experience, and that the world is experiencing on greater and greater levels. And so I wanted to give some context to may these things be able to be met from this place of love, of the one, of the gentle giant that is God, that is you, that is me. Because we need it. The giant, epic pain of the world must be met with the giant, gentle, loving force that is the divine. What say ye, Rev Raymont?
Oh, I'm right there with you. Yes, because there's so much going on, both in our individual lives and in the collective experience, where it's easy to feel worn down, worn out, beaten down, beaten up, overwhelmed with so much pain and trauma and grief, that if we're not in a space of being gentle with ourselves, with the process, not gentle with the entire way that we show up, then we're actually doing, one, greater harm to ourselves than the collective, because we're not ensuring that our cups, are full.
Mm-hmm.
And we're actually impeding the process of healing. Right? Like when I had surgery and they're like, don't do nothing for a couple of weeks. Like,
don't
walk.
Don't do it.
Right. Like, you have to give your body time to, that's gentleness, that's compassion. well, if I'm going to do that with my body post surgery, am I doing that with my heart and my mind post argument or post activism or even simply, scrolling through, wait a minute, the police shot enough. Like if I'm not doing the same, pause, breathe, be gentle, be compassionate. That doesn't mean throw up your hands and do nothing. It means right now, what do you need to do for you?
Amen.
Because you can't do something for another if you're not making sure that you're taken care of, that you have the capacity. Breathe. So, yeah, I'm right there with you 1000%.
Amen. Amen. So, beloveds, may you welcome in the gentle and giant nature of the Holy Blessed One. May you be blessed by it more and more and more throughout this series. I love you so much. So glad you're here. I want to invite you to get obsessed. I want to invite you into a sweet and powerful, positive obsession. And you can join me by doing this. There's several things that are freely offered, no financial requirement. You can get a phone call and a text every day from our prayer warriors, our practitioners. It's called Spirit Calling, delivered directly to your phone. You can sign up for the app that we have built, where you get a message and journal prompts and recommended spiritual practices, an opportunity to get connected in community with other wonderfully obsessed humans through our small groups. And all of these things you can find on our website, abqcsl.org. It is my deep, deep, deep desire to invite you into yourself and your own powerfully divine nature, and to invite you into building this unquantifiable number of people who are so sweetly obsessed with our inherent connection and manifesting that audaciously in this world, as this world. I'm so glad you've been with us. I'm so glad you will come back and keep at it. You are worth it. Love is worth it. All right. So let us begin. Oh, beloved, let's talk about your gentleness is showing. And I thought, Raymont, if you're up for it, we could start with a quote from Ernest Holmes.
Okay.
Founder of Science of Mind, teacher of this tradition that Raymont and I are ordained in. So Ernest Holmes says, there is something about you and me that is cosmic, universal, that stretches over time and space. Let us learn to think better of ourselves.
Ooh. Ooh.
Somebody.
Amen.
Because what I know for sure, and you spoke about this in the intro, how we think about ourselves, how we treat ourselves, the kind of compassion we offer ourselves, the kind of kindness and generosity and giant love that we offer ourselves is absolutely going to inform what we have to offer anybody, anything else.
Amen. How could it not?
And I know that sometimes I can get strung out, right, on what it is that I have to do for others. I value deeply loving others well. It's part of my personal mission statement.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can literally get myself strung out on caring for, loving, praying for everybody,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Congo, Sudan, Palestine is in my prayer, in my heartbreak every day.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Right. And if I am not really mindful and really well practiced, I will leave it there.
Mm-hmm.
And I will forget that despair and that heartbreak and that worry and um, that edge of hopelessness
Mm-hmm.
will become all there is.
Right, right, right. It's interesting that, when the quote you just shared, let us learn to think better of ourselves. And at, face value, it seems like, well, why wouldn't we? But then I think about, okay, so just in terms of a physical way that we show up, we're outward facing.
That's
We
right.
don't see our own face.
Right.
And there are times when we record our voice and then we hear it and it's like, that's what I sound like, because it sounds different from the inside than it does. So it's easy to put our attention elsewhere versus, oh, so what am I feeling, especially within New Thought when we're taught, indoctrinated to suppress the quote unquote, what we traditionally would refer to as negative feelings, the sadness or whatnot. And, sometimes we're guilted and shamed into, well, what's in your consciousness kind of. And it's like, okay, so we push outward, outward, outward so that we're not being true to ourselves, thinking better of ourselves, even recognizing ourselves. Like, I'm with you that there are times when you can get so strung out with, I got to make sure the grandkids are okay, and I got to make sure my sons are okay, I got to make sure the daughter-in-law, I got to make sure I got to do. It's like, wait a minute, I don't even recognize myself anymore because I'm used to singing, I'm used to dancing and laughing, and I'm used to doing the, but based on the evidence, I'm not acting like myself anymore. Ooh, so the invitation, come back to myself, come back to the truth of who and what I am, make sure my container is full, my capacity and my health and well-being. And then now, how do I go back to, because, referencing what you said, when we bring all of the spaces where war is happening and police shootings are happening and the unhoused and all of these things, and we bring it to this space and we become so, okay, and there's grief and there's anger and there's all of this stuff, but we don't process it. Then when we return to that space of prayer, we're bringing the baggage of that grief, the anger and all of that into this space of, well, wait a minute, is that what I want to carry into the space of? No, I want to leave the shoes at the door. I want to shake off the dust and then re-enter this space of, I am knowing the truth so that I have the capacity to now step back out into the world, put my shoes back on, get back out there, get dusty and dirty again, speaking truth powerfully, not speaking truth to power, but speaking truth powerfully so that true transformation can happen.
Yeah. I'm thinking about a couple of things. One is, in the opening of the quote, Ernest tells us that we are cosmic and universal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think some of the work is to believe that.
Right.
Right. Because when I am confronted, like you said, with all of these external circumstances, all of which are not horror, right? But a lot of horror.
Right.
I can easily begin to doubt that I am a cosmic being, that I have a universal belonging. And so do you, and so does he, and so does she, and so does they. It can be really easy to lose that possibility in my own consciousness.
Hey, Amani, you tried to tell me I'm cosmic and I can't pay for my lights get ready to get cut off.
But baby, you're cosmic.
But you're universal. Yeah, I'm universal and I'm still hungry and I'm still unhoused and I'm still going through, mental health crises and I'm still, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And so to be able to meet that experience open-hearted and knowing that yes, you are universal, and yes, you are cosmic, and my heart breaks.
Mm-hmm.
And I am here in it with you.
Right. Right.
I need to have the strength and the capacity to hold both of those things.
Yep. Because that does not deny or negate the truth of our being.
Amen, amen, amen.
Because we know our culture and society would have us believe that, oh, well, if you don't have the house and the picket fence and the, 1.5 dog and family, kids, or whatever, you're not living up to the American
gender normative marriage.
Right. If you don't fit into this box of cognitive imperialism and whatnot, then no. No, like you said, it's both and. I can still recognize and know the truth of my being as a cosmic, universal expression of the divine and navigate what it means to move through toxic capitalism and war and rumors of war, and still live based upon the truth of my being, even while. Both and.
Yeah.
Gently.
And recognizing, again, the giantness of that. Mm-hmm. The giantness of that. And to find our way back when we forget. Right? And that's part of the gentle, right? Instead of being swallowed by the material reality, being swallowed, by the horror that we perpetrate on one another, right? The systems and structures that would have me believe as a Black queer woman that I do not matter, swallowed by that.
Right.
And so the giantness of love, the giantness of the divine is the place that I get to rest in when I'm starting to feel swallowed.
Right.
Right. And when I can't rest in that, I can go to you and say, Raymont, please help me rest in the truth, because I am lost.
Right.
And you get to be gentle with me. Right. And exactly. So it's like a dance with this paradox. But to just know that you get to doubt and you get to return.
Right. Because
that's how giant God is.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
So the other thing it's got me thinking about is, what are some of the ways that you are gentle with yourself, and ways you remind yourself, or maybe even practices you have in place that help you return to what is true? Yeah.
Well, since you asked, I'm going to invoke recently. I was at an event where someone scolded me, and it brought up trauma and dysregulation. Like, it brought up a whole bunch of stuff. And initially, where I was, I felt like the Wicked Witch and the Wizard of Oz. I felt like I felt like, woo, like it was going through me. But what did I do? I had the wherewithal, the gentleness to know to reach out to folks like you. Because I knew that in that moment, you were going to do exactly what you did. Pause and breathe, my brother. Let's go back to that space. Matter of fact, let's go down and walk, along the beach, and let's watch the sunrise or sunset, and it was just breathe and come back to the truth. So in regular everyday living, what does it mean for me to be gentle? It means that because I'm still in the healing process post-surgery, so it means if I really don't feel like getting out of the bed at 9 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, because my body is like, what are you doing? We're not done yet. Then it's saying, what's the rush?
Yeah.
Stay in bed, rest, get some tea, chill, watch Netflix. So being gentle means listening to my body, listening to my emotions, just listening to what do I need in this moment? Because if I'm hungry, gentleness is go get something to eat.
Right.
If I'm thirsty, gentleness is get something to drink. If I want to just sit out on the front and listen to the wind chimes for no other reason than I love the sound and the feel of the breeze, that's being gentle with myself without the confinement or constraints that say, whoa, 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 you ain't got a job. You ain't doing a 9 to 5. You're not, wait, what are you? You're wasting your time. No, I'm investing my time very specifically.
Amen.
That's being gentle.
Amen. And I love that you just said that, because the gentle giantness, the giantness of what is actually required in self-care and self-compassion and welcoming yourself back to yourself. Like you just mentioned all of these very particular ways that you can do that. Fundamental, which I also would recommend, beloveds, anybody who is not in a practice of learning how to listen to your body, put that at the top of the list, my beloveds. Within this giant thing called spiritual living, within this giant thing of finding God and finding the truth of who I am and who you are, that requires gentleness.
Mm-hmm.
It is so big. It requires so much of my attention that I have to be willing to do all of these micro particular things in order to fulfill the giant call of my divine purpose, which is to be Amani Malaika here on this planet with breath in her body as she's been divinely appointed.
Mm-hmm.
It is a giant thing to be alive.
Mm-hmm.
The manifestation of the one.
Right.
And so in order for me to meet that giant force of love and good, it has to be filled with many, 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 many micro moments of awareness.
Right.
The willingness to make a priority, which seems giant,
Mm-hmm.
to listen to my body.
Mm-hmm.
And then have the courage to do what it asks.
Yep.
That is gentleness. That is giant gentleness.
True that.
It is particular. It is one small choice after the other.
Yeah. Because oftentimes we think that it has to be these grand strokes.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's this huge opus, or this, whatever this is, it's this huge. Well, wait a minute, wait. You do know that the scope of Hamilton is made up of individual scenes, individual songs, individual lines, individual lyrics, individual notes.
That's right.
One builds upon the other, moment by moment, note by note, song by song. Boom. Now you have this grand thing called a play.
That's right.
And remember, Shakespeare said, all the world is a stage and we are simply actors. So yes, going back and saying, what are those micro moments of just this note? And I make this note with just this breath,
yes.
Moment by moment.
Yes. I think that sounds like a prayer.
Oh, it's a prayer.
I'm going to pray for the giant gentleness, all of these beloveds who are watching get to experience.
So we simply anchor into this divine breath, this divine the that sets up the amen, the that sets up the oh my God, this is good. Whatever that breath is for each and every one of us, we anchor into that. And it is from this place of being anchored and grounded and in alignment with this power and presence that is the all that is, circle, circumference, nowhere, center, everywhere, called by many names, God, source, spirit, the universe, whatever that is, it is incarnating in, through, and as us. love itself. And so we breathe. We don't force the breath. We don't demand an inhale or an exhale. We are gentle and the breath happens.
Mm.
Anyone who does, I don't do it, but anyone who does singing knows you don't strain to get the note. You simply relax. There is a process of engaging the diaphragm and the lungs and the vocal cords and the tongue and the lips. And when all of it is gently aligned, magic happens.
Mm.
And it is that power, that giantness of that note, the giantness of the voice celestial, the giantness of the universe, knowing itself as each one of us. It is that power, that presence, that note, that voice, that universe, that single verse that God is, the word, the power, the presence, showing up right here and right now in, through, and as each and every one of us. And so I speak this with confidence, knowing that as I embody, and I speak this knowing this truth for all who are watching and listening, that when I embody the truth of my being as a cosmic, universal, individualized expression of the one, that not only is my life transformed, but everyone that I see and everyone who sees me, transformation happens.
Amen, amen.
Everyone that I hear and everyone who hears me hears the word. The word was God, the word was with God, and that word was made flesh. They hear that word that is the very power of creation. That everyone that I touch, whether that is a physical touch through a hug, a handshake, a high five, or I touch a box of cereal in the supermarket and choose to put that cereal box back, my fingerprints are on the box. My divine fingerprints, the energetic fingerprints of I am that I am that I am ever becoming, are on that box with such power that the next person who picks up that box of organic cornflakes, something in their lives transforms because they feel the very vibration of the truth of their being as a cosmic, as a universal power and presence showing up gently in this world.
Amen.
And knowing that the law receives all of this and that its yes is its amen, with gratitude, I witness gentleness in the world. With appreciation, I witness this gentle, gigantic, ginormous compassion and love rippling throughout all of creation. And I step back and marvel at how it is doing this and how I am engaged in it and how each of us is singing our note, hitting our mark on the stage of life. All for the purpose of this grand opus, this standing ovation that is the demonstration of a world that truly does work for all.
Amen, amen.
I know that to be what is so. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you.
Yeah.